The left is completely unhinged and coming undone. You reap what you sow. Left-wing podcaster explodes on Rahm Emanuel, claims MAGA is obsessed with gender issues and so-called trans people. A left-wing podcaster named Jennifer Welch recently spoke to former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who is expected to run for the Democrat nomination in 2028. At one point, she explodes on Emanuel for not fighting hard enough against Trump and Republicans, claiming that MAGA is obsessed with gender and so-called trans people. She laughably claims that Kamala Harris campaigned on kitchen table issues, like being able to afford a mortgage. Fox News reports former Democratic Mayor Rahm Emanuel faced some heat on the I've Had It podcast on Tuesday for dismissing so-called transgender issues as a core party value. The argument began after host Jennifer Welch called on the Democrat Party to fight back more against President Donald Trump's agenda.
We were really south on kitchen table issues. We weren't really good about the family room issues.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you 100
Okay, the only room we were doing really well was the bathroom. And that's the smallest room in the house.
That is such bullshit. That is total bullshit. That is buying into the right-wing media narrative. And I'm so sick of Democrats like you selling out and saying this. You know who talks about trans people more than anybody? MAGA. MAGA is the most genital-obsessed political party I have ever seen. Kamala Harris talked about homeownership. She talked about kitchen table issues. Trump's over there droning on about Hannibal Lecter. Are you kidding me? This is where the Democrats lose because we're playing the game with the rule book. They've ripped the rule book up and are cramming it down everybody's throat. And Democrats are upset because Joe Biden pardoned his son. We got to fucking fight. They're the gender obsessed weirdos, not us. We're the ones who fight for Social Security. We fight for Medicare. And we're not going to bully trans people. We're not going to fucking do it. Fine.
Hey, let me say this. As mayor, 2016, I dealt with the bathroom issue. It's just not my most important issue. It was dealt with, and I appropriately dealt with marriage equality, as I said.
Well, it's certainly important to the Republicans. For me, it's just important not to bully them. And I think this is the death knell of the Democrats. It upsets me. It upsets me so much because we live here in this red state, and you see the damage of it. When I see politicians that are supposed to be leaders in the Democratic Party buy into the narrative that Republicans have defined us by, instead of fighting and saying, you're the weirdos that are obsessed with it. Yeah, we're not going to bully some trans kid. And we buy into their narrative. It's why I think we lose. And I have to live in a state where women, rape victims, can't get an abortion because of this bullshit. And so I'm going to fight till the bitter end, and I'm not going to let some MAGA moron define what progressive values are. And I think it's a really dangerous precedent, Mr. Emanuel. I'm sorry, but I have to push back. And I'm not some coastal elite liberal.
Right. MAGA are the ones obsessed with genitals when you guys are the ones that are obsessed with forcing little girls to share locker rooms and bathrooms with grown male adults. Democrats furious and want former President Joe Biden to stay out of the public spotlight. Joe Biden is desperately trying to remain somehow relevant in American politics. He recently gave some disastrous remarks in Chicago and is reportedly trying to charge $300,000 for speeches.
Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their standing, regardless of the economic situation, regardless of who they are. Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans. We need advocates like you. You're the ones that keep it going. God love you.
Imagine paying $300K for that. Fox News reports Democrat figures and even the former First Family's aides are saying that former President Biden needs to stay out of politics, according to a new report from The Hill. The outlet's senior political correspondent spoke to former First Lady Jill Biden's communications director, Michael LaRosa, who stated that Biden's staff needs to steer him away from the spotlight because the party is not interested in seeing him. The former Biden staffer said, quote, "If they had advisors, who had their hand on the pulse of the Democrat Party or national politics, they would have understood the intense level of anger or indifference to them that remains inside our party and isn't going away anytime soon. Well, I really don't understand why they're so mad. Why would Democrats be so angry? They're the ones that installed him, but in their minds, they're the ones that voted for him in 2020, voted 81 million. So what are they mad at Joe for? You know what, Joe? You do you. You just keep on going, Joe Biden. You keep speaking your heart out. Whatever it is you think you're saying, just keep doing it. Remain in the public eye. We want you to, Joe. You are definitely representing the Democrat Party and causing their approval numbers to skyrocket. Keep it up, Joe. Cancer, acne rosacea, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis are 4 different diseases in 4 different areas of medicine. What if they can all be treated with parasite medication, and that turns out for these diseases to be true? What if I told you that if you had a pet or ate sushi, you are more likely to have parasites? This means that a lot of our ailments that we experience every day are caused not by environmental issues, but by parasites as well. This is something Big Pharma does not want you to know about. I know many of us check off many of these boxes. This is why Purge is offering their new liver cleanse products for all of you out there that need to clear those toxins out once and for all. PurgeStore.com offers everything you need to cleanse and detox your body. Powerful enzymes and probiotics, 15-day colon cleanse protocols, liver cleanse, and of course, the parasite cleanse. Right now, if you go to PurgeStore.com and use promo code DREW, that's DREW, you will get 20% off your entire order. Use the link in the description below, PurgeStore.com, and support the Gateway Pundit today. The Gateway Pundit is supported by the people, we the people, that is you, the American people. We thank you for your support. Elizabeth Warren gets called out over Biden's decline by a left-wing podcaster. Spicy. Elizabeth Warren was one of the Democrats who defended Joe Biden right up to the end, and she was confronted about this while speaking to a left-wing podcaster. He forces Warren to talk about this, and she again tries to suggest that she saw no signs of decline, but to his credit, he calls her out big time.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You see, people like Pocahontas, they think you're stupid. They are so used to jumping on TV, jumping on interviews, jumping on any platform wherever a microphone is put in front of their lying faces, so they can just spew their lies directly to your face. And they're so used to people just believing it. And when they finally get pressed face to face, they squirm and they don't have an answer because she knew, just like we all did, that Joe Biden was and is cooked. She's a liar. Rosie ODonnell discusses fleeing the country after President Trump won. Says it was time for me and my so-called non-binary child to leave. Rosie ODonnell fled the country in the days before President Donald Trump's inauguration and joined CNN on Tuesday to discuss why. Speaking to the network from her new home in Ireland, O'Donnell claimed that it was, quote, time for me and my so-called non-binary child to leave.
I have no regrets. Not a day has gone by that I thought it was the wrong decision. I was welcomed with open arms. I knew after reading Project 2025 that if Trump got in, it was time for me and my non-binary child to leave the country. And although I was not one of the celebrities who announced that that's what I would do, I made the decision within my family and my therapist, and should he win, and then when he did, we made the plan into action, and we were gone before he was inaugurated.
You've been a longtime critic of this Trump administration and a target of President Trump, for that matter, as well. What has it been like watching the last few months unfold from abroad?
It's been heartbreaking, I have to tell you. I knew that if I was in the United States and watched him destroy the country and the Constitution and really pay no mind to any of the laws that the founders stood by and that our country stands for as a beacon of shining light and freedom for the rest of the world, that should he do what the Heritage Foundation said he was going to do in that Project 2025, that we were going to be in big trouble. And it's as bad as they promised, and even a little bit worse. And it's been heartbreaking and personally very, very sad.
Wow. Rosie ODonnell is looking rough. Looks completely soulless. TDS has really done a number on Rosie ODonnell. But I'll tell you this, I think we should encourage this, honestly. I think we should just continue to play into the TDS. Encourage these people. Yes, America's horrible. Why do you want to stay here? I think you should just leave. Just go somewhere else, far, far away, where you're safe. I think that will benefit us all if we can get these radical, psycho, anti-American leftists to self-deport that way. My name is Drew Hernandez for the Gateway Pundit, and you have been on Watch with Drew Hernandez. I'll see you guys on the next one.